Talking about a love-torn child, a kid. This is probably his first real relationship, and somebody was disparaging the person that he loved. He sat on that building for 30 minutes before he took the shot. Why did he wait until the first word trans came up? Then he took the shot.
You think he heard it? He could hear it?
I think he could hear it. I think he also, I don't believe he was motivated politically. I think this was motivated emotionally.
Guys.
Montel Williams says that he was just a young child who was trying to defend his lover because it was his first time being in love. You think that you can be rational with the left. He's making excuses up for the fella who went and shot Charlie Kirk because of his lover? The left is sick. And see, Montel Williams and the rest of these folks on CNN, MSNBC, always telling you to be tolerant when they're the ones being violent. He wants you to believe that he wasn't going to take the shot until he heard trans. Then it triggered him.
Guys, the evidence here is overwhelming. He said, Charlie Kirk, I can't stand this hate anymore. I'm going to take him out. The testimony from him and the statements of his family, he had become more left-wing. He etched the statements that are made by the left about Republicans and conservatives and Charlie Kirk fascist on the bullet casings.
He made a joke about it in his last text.
Well, it doesn't sound like a joke to me because someone's dead and about to be buried.
Well,
so it doesn't sound like a joke to me. So I'm just telling you, there is an effort. There was an effort all weekend long on the left to try to make this guy sound like he was a conservative. That failed. That was passed around all over the weekend. That has now failed. The evidence has now come out. He was motivated by hate. He was motivated by left-wing radicalism. He got mixed up with some trans ideology in his life. We'll learn more about that, I'm sure, when more evidence and testimony comes out. We are looking around the edges of this for something other than what's staring us in the face. Left-wing radicalism got this kid. He went up to a roof and he murdered our friend, and that's what happened.
Listen, damn fool. The text messages was clear. He says that Charlie Kirk is the kind of person you can't negotiate with. You got to kill him unless he believes like you. Montel Williams said he's just this, it's almost like a romantic novel. Same gender-loving person in love with his boyfriend, and he gonna kill anybody who disagrees with a grown man becoming a woman. Make it make sense, please. Make it make sense to me. Montel Williams is a piece of trash. And then Montel Williams, in another clip, Montel Williams came back around to try to insult Scott Jennings. Because he says, Scott is upset now.
Can we, for 1 second, understand that as we continue, Scott just got all angry, got real mad. Face it, it's got to be this, it's got to be this, it's got to be this. Why can't we have a discussion about how long is it going to take for us to figure out a way to come back together?
Just to be clear, I am angry.
Can we just let him finish?
I am angry.
Scott, I'll let
because
you talk.
I knew it.
Scott, I'll let you talk in just a second. Go ahead.
Could we spend as much time figuring out how we bridge this and come back together again? I used to have a note on my producer's desk when I did my show that was said, we don't belabor what happens, we try to figure out why it happens and come up with solutions. Right now, all we're doing is belaboring what happened over and over and over and over again. We're not going to sit down and try to figure out how do we stop it. If we want to
go after left-wing terrorists. That's actually exactly the conversation we're having, is we're acknowledging there's a problem.
So anybody who disagrees with you is a left-wing terrorist?
Absolutely not, but if they target a conservative and murder him in brutal fashion, he's probably a left-wing terrorist.
Let me answer your question.
Yes, that person is a murderer.
We can
all acknowledge that.
You said I am angry, and I'm just telling. I am channeling the emotions of millions of conservatives who are angry. They knew Charlie. They loved Charlie. They viewed Charlie as a mainstream conservative Republican voice who talked about issues that millions of Americans believe. He also talked about his faith. And he did it by going to college campuses, which are not normally hospitable to conservatives, and offering his opponents a microphone to have what we always say.
In support of what? In support of what?
Civil discourse.
Not only that.
We should be able to have some conversation. That's what the hell Charlie Kirk was doing, having a conversation with these nut jobs. And having a conversation with them, they decide to shoot and kill him. That's what the left does. The conversation means you must agree with me or you will die. You want to move on past this? How in the hell are we going to move past it? Let me tell you something. A lot of you on the right, too, you're part of the problem, too. Because you done took this tolerant BS to another level. I know people personally, they'll have something hostile to say towards me by tolerating the most perverted people out there. You can become famous in America now being a pervert. That loser fella just shot somebody. The girls are lining up saying how handsome he is. I mean, the Rolling Stones put the Boston bomber, the marathon bomber, on the front page. You can be a person who dresses up like a woman, a grown freaking man, dressing up like a woman. You could be 6'4", 6'5", dressing up like a woman, and then people will tell you how much they admire him. They admire perverts. That's what's wrong with our society. They're telling you got to tolerate them, how much they love what somebody's doing. It's just his own opinion. But as soon as you give your opinion, all of a sudden they become narrow-minded. See, this is like those people who are capitalists. They make all their money and then try to punish you and try to convert over to socialism after they earn their money. Just think about this. They'll tell you to tolerate their belief system, and these phony conservatives will tell you got to tolerate everything. You got to be, you got to give in to everything tolerance. And then they'll turn around and tell you how narrow-minded you are. That's why I don't pay attention to most people, what they think. Because the same ones, including those on the right, pretending like they're tolerant, as soon as somebody like me speaks, they act like, oh my God, you can't say that. And they'll go over here and tolerate men dressing as women, men wanting to have relations with kids, murderers, whores, pimps, anything you name. They got tolerance of that. That's why Montel Williams is on here now, having sympathy towards the fella who did the shooting, because he was just a young man in love. Let's write a romance novel. Let's sing some songs about how much he was in love with his boyfriend. You can go back to this whole Barack Obama thing. Reason a bunch of you are perverted is because you was worshiping Barack Obama when he was the same gender loving too. Lied about traditional marriage. He was having all kind of relationship, doing cocaine. They didn't want you talking about him because of damn skin color. Sick of the trash. People want to manipulate and tell you what you can't talk about. They'll listen to any kind of BS from anybody else. Tell you can't talk about something. You was just tolerant of everybody else talking. All types of perversion. Call you narrow-minded. Well, I'm just not as good and holy as you. Nobody says nobody was acting to be perfect. But there's some perversions that you can't tolerate. Everybody needs grace, a little mercy. Going around shooting people, though, you're not going to get no damn mercy from me. I don't want to hear nothing about your freaking boyfriend. Why you was upset about somebody talking about your damn boyfriend? Get over it.